Bum, bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. How we doing, everyone? How are we doing today? We're gonna make something. We're gonna make something I got asked about the other day. We're going to remake the Squid Game graphic. Let me do this. There we go. So we're gonna remake the Squid Game graphic because it's really cool. And the way we're gonna do it, I haven't figured out yet. But I know for a fact that anything I can see in my mind, I can create. Start virtual camera. I don't want to start virtual camera. I don't think we're going to do that today. Actually, I'm going to delete this and move that to here. There we go. Now we've posted in some appropriate channels. So that any of my friends who also use DaVinci Resolve can also come see. So, let's see what we are gonna make first. What are we gonna do? Let's take a look at the actual intro first. Let's see what we're working with. That's interesting. Okay. I should probably save this as well. Squid Game graphic. There we go. So we're gonna mute the sound. First thing first. We'll mute the sound. So we start off with just this. I think it's like super low resolution too. And the thing about making or remaking a graphic is you don't need the graphic to be super high resolution. You really don't. As long as you can see just what the main form is, then you're golden. So we start off with 2 circles, a square, a triangle, and then kind of pulls out. We get all this rotation, and then a whole bunch of just like extra lines here. It turns into what I'm guessing is Japanese or Chinese, some kind of foreign language, or if it's not, then it's just, whatever symbols. After that, we get some fading, and it turns into the Squid Game logo. This is going to be interesting, because not all of them, right from the beginning, are actually like it's not one single piece. Because if you look right here, this comes out of nowhere, right? So this one comes out of nowhere. This one comes out of nowhere. This one, this one, this one, this, and this. That comes out, like, we have a whole bunch of things coming from basically non-existent places. After that, they become their own symbols. And then from there, they all go and do everything again. So we would realistically be working from, we'll just be basically remaking the whole thing. And then once we're at this point, this is where the real modular magic happens. Because if we want to make something custom, and I was thinking about this earlier, I thought, can I make this as something modular, or does it need to be custom? Because a lot of text assets and a lot of things in general, you can make them modular so that you can go in and edit them afterward, and you don't have to worry about, oh, like remaking everything custom. The only difference is that with all these, to get them to move and animate in a proper way, where, for example, the queue just animates in on itself. But if you have this circle, for example, is on the screen for the entire duration. So if we watch the circle, it then moves, it goes up, it goes to left, turns into the pink circle, then it moves again, and it becomes the S in the Squid Game. So if we're looking at where else, so we see the triangle. The triangle does something similar. Actually, no, the triangle doesn't. The triangle does not. But you get the point with the S. The S versus the Q. The S is there for the entire time. The Q comes out of nowhere. So we got to figure out what parts are going to fade in, or like what parts we're actually going to have to animate, and what parts can be modular, which I'm thinking will be none of this. So let's jump into Fusion and take a look at what we're making here. So just off the bat, that's starting at nothing. We can fade that in. And it's just, the first part is just going to be remaking this. Something to note. Hey Max, how you doing? We're remaking Squid Game. Actually, wait a second. Did they not? We found an error. We found an error in the Squid Game graphic. So everything all changes and goes in little pieces. This looks like it's supposed to be two pieces. Just this, and something to note, this will be a detail we add in to make it more authentic, is the drop shadow. Something that looks like it is supposed to be one piece is this and this, but you can see when it comes in, you have like a slight difference in the fade here. And these are the tiny things that jump into my brain, and I'll pick that right out. It is really fun to look at errors in, you know, Netflix and Hollywood TV. So let's pull our reference into the player. You can actually recreate this thing. Oh, Max. Oh man, you don't even know. Let me show you something. Max, you know the game Lethal Company, right? You know Disney Plus. I'll do a little showcase before we start and hope that DaVinci Resolve responds. There we go. So I decided I wanted to remake the Disney Plus graphic, and I thought it was really funny because I got it in my head. I went, I bet I could make this, and anything I can see in my head, I can create. So where's our Disney Plus reference? Let's go media pool, references. So Disney Plus, I'm just gonna do this and then hit that. So if we do this, drag this down. So this is the original Disney Plus logo, graphic, whatever you want to call it. And actually I'll keep this in and I'll put it on, we'll put it on the right side. So I look at this, in order to make this, what I did, because this is just a reference, I went, okay, what do we have here? We have a background. We have two different backgrounds, and it doesn't look like a normal gradient because you've got this little circle here. So I figured out what the easiest way would be, or at least what I thought it would be. So we take the background, then we get another background and we add this ellipse to it. And this ellipse, when we merge them together, you remake that same background. And I'll move my camera down so you can see. I'll move this over. There we go. So after that, add on your text, and the text isn't animated at all, so you don't have to worry about that. Afterward, you want to make this, which we can do easily with a little background. Can I zoom in here? Oh, yes, I can. So we can make this easily by having this just be a gradient. That's all. So we just gradient that. And when we look at our reference here, right? Same color scheme. So after that, so first it's just the background. Then we add in the soft glow. And if you're looking at the Disney Plus one, you have that fade right there. So what we do is we add, we also added a spline here because the actual Disney, the actual one is rounded corners. Ours was not rounded corners, so we add a little spline. This would be like the only mistake you would find here, is the white fade in here. White fade in and cut off. We had a spline there to fade that out, and then we add this rectangle so that you have that nice fade on this side as well. After that, we have the glow for the animation, right? So we have that. We do another one because of course you need this as well. So when we're playing this back, boom. So this all starts and bam. So you're not doing bad so far, right? You've come a long way. It looks pretty good. After that, you need to get your plus. And if we look at the way the Disney Plus one is animated, right? So the glow starts first, and then you notice the plus already coming in right here. The plus already coming in, and it grows along with the glow. So it looks like it's two separate assets. And then plus comes out, it shrinks slightly, and there's actually some particles as well that pop out. So you have the plus is probably the most complicated part of all this, and then you have original coming out. So boom, Disney original. We did the exact same thing because we created it the way that we did ours, and we'll show our plus as well. Boom, there's our plus. The way we did ours, we added in, and you can see our particles right here. So I thought the particles, I wasn't going to do them originally, but the particles are a nice effect. They're a really nice little add-on that keep you having that extra bit of detail. So the way we do the particles is with a simple particle emitter. We add some velocity because we can see which way the particles are going on the Disney Plus logo. It's only out and to the right, couple going down, nothing too crazy, and it's not a lot. So we make sure the number is low, we make sure the lifespan is low, and then after we had the particles, it was a little bit tricky because we had them moving at a certain speed, and I could not for the life of me get them to fade out in the way I wanted. So what I did is I went over to the merge node here, and you see we have our particle emitter, we have our render, and we have the merge. So that's going to go all on top of here, particles, boom. But what I did is I added an ellipse, which what the ellipse does in this case, because oops, there we go, because what we did here is we brought out our soft edge a ton, which if I was to copy paste this here, bring a background, that's what that looks like. If I bring the soft edge back down, this is what you're seeing. Soft edge up, soft edge down. So it can allow you, in this case, to actually fade things out instead of just cutting them right off. So when the particles are going, right, and here's the ellipse, you can see they fade out instead of just getting cut off, because I only wanted them flying out to a certain point. So I just bring the ellipse up, and then I have it animate to move at a certain point, because the particles in the Disney, the original one, don't last very long. So we did that. And that's how we made the Disney one. Now, Max, are you following so far? You can give me a 1 in the chat, or a 5 in the chat, if you're feeling freaky. Yeah, let me know if you're following. Let me know if you give me any questions you might have as well, because I soon expect you'll be joining us in DaVinci Resolve. Oh yeah, you can do all of it. So this, I made all of this in DaVinci Resolve. I wouldn't be surprised if you could do everything except the particles in the free version, because soft glow and glow are pretty basic. Background, text merge, ellipses, those are all super, super basic. Those are 100% in the free version. The only thing might be the particles, because they are a bit more advanced. But the particles, like, they're almost not visible. But I was showing this to people, and like, if I do this, like, you can't tell the difference. And I showed it to people, and the thing about, oh, chat disconnected. Oh no. Successfully connected. Thank you, chat. So the thing about remaking things and then showing them to people is, for you, it's really cool, because you're not seeing just the result. You're seeing this, right? You're seeing these. You're seeing all these nodes that went into making it. People are seeing, oh, I don't want to add a marker there. There we go. People are just seeing the result. And for most of them, because you can make it so accurate, they go, oh, it's just the Disney Plus thing. But it's not. But it's really, really cool. Now, we didn't just make that. You know what the Lethal Company logo looks like, right? Where you have that rectangle, and then you have Lethal Company, and it's like 2 different text styles. Well, we made that too. And I'm going to show you exactly where. See this little node? This little node here? Lethal Company logo. Now, where's my Lethal Company reference? Where's my Lethal Company reference? Is this it? That's not it. Is this it? That's not it. That's not it either. It's got to be here, though. I know. Oh, wait. I think I know where it is. It's going to be in here, isn't it? Time, speed, Luma. I'll do this as well. Thank you, Max. Bro, it's so much fun to be, just the knowledge that you can make things. So what we're going to do here, because I broke this down and I made it all into little pieces. I'm going to drag this box out way, way big so that it's all set up properly. And my original intention was to make the Disney original, but in the style of Lethal Company. So we've got all these here. I'm going to need to stretch this window out more. Oh boy. Stretch you out. And we'll bring all these over. And stretch that out. Bring that over. Boom, stretch that. And stretch this. I promise that this isn't as complicated as it looks. Okay? We went from that to this, but it's not bad. So, bring the music back. We start off, same thing. Get rid of the Disney. Get rid of Disney. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I know exactly what to do to fix this. Get rid of that. first, what I want to do is show you the actual reference, because it looks, or you have something that you can compare to, right, when you have the reference. So I'll do that. So there's the actual Lethal Company piece, right? This is the Lethal Company logo. That's what it looks like. So I went, okay, how do we make this? First thing I need is to see if I can recreate these texts, because if I can recreate this, if I can recreate that, then I'm golden, right? Just to have it, like, if this exists, this is going to save me so much trouble. Just the fonts themselves, because those styles, those are some not nice styles, and they're obscure. Like, they probably don't exist. So first thing we did is we got Disney, and in the inspector, what I did, we go to shading and transform. We messed with the rotation a little bit, because you can see what it's doing, right? You can see what it's doing here when we mess with the rotation. So I mess with the rotation a little bit. I bring that down. What did I do in shading here? I mess with the X rotation again, which is just the same thing, right? It just did the same thing. So I messed with that a bit. With the shear will actually stretch things a bit. So messed with the shear just a tiny bit, 0.005, and then the same thing with the sizing, right? So I messed with the size just to make it look a bit more like this font here, because taking the font from the internet is too hard. It wasn't. So here's the thing, it wasn't, but I looked everywhere, and the font that does exist is, where is it? I'll find it, one second. Let me do this, text. And so the font that does exist is this one. Everyone knows what that font looks like. Here, wait, I'm gonna show you here. Everyone knows what that looks like in Lethal. That's the only font that you can find on the internet. Another font like that, or aside from that, the Lethal Company font doesn't exist. So what we did is we made the Disney, we made it kind of as close to this just as we could, got a similar color, and then this is where you start having to do details, because when I made it at first, the finished product of this looked incredibly clean, but it doesn't look like that. To make it actually authentic, you have to add in this, which, like, how do you do that? This, again, this isn't a normal text font that you can just find. Like, these are jagged edges. So instead, what we did is we added on a mosaic blur. So not mosaic blur, mosaic blur, right? This is what we ended up having. So not bad, eh? So from there, after we take the mosaic blur, we add in a background. Now we're getting closer. Now things are starting to take a little bit of shape. You can see the vision. After that, I had to remake these. These lines took so long, but it worked, because essentially what it is it's a red background and it's a black background, and you just add a rectangle ellipse on top of them. Yeah, damn is right. You just add them on top of each other. Then you put a transform. And why did it suddenly look like that? I'll show you why. Because the sizing, I brought down to 0.021. And the way that I changed the edges, because if I leave the edges as just a canvas, this is what it looks like. It looks just like that. It's tiny, right? You can't see it. We changed our edges to wrap, and this is what it gives us. Now, changing edges to wrap makes it so that it will basically just, it's like an infinite mirror, where when you bring it out of frame, there's just more of it. So this box just continues. So the edge is here, another edge is here. If I was to do this, right, nothing. But if I do this, it moves. Ooh. So, now that we have that, and I'm going to put that back right there. Now that we have that, we had to figure out how we were going to get the Disney to look like the lethal. How are we going to combine these two things so that they're kind of like, right? How do we get the lines looking like that? The only thing I was able to figure out that worked was just creating quick masks that go around each one. Each mask, and the only part of the lines that will be visible is what's inside, right? Everything else is isolated, right? You're not going to be able to see anything outside of that. And we have the soft edge completely down, right? Hard edge, no soft edge here. Now, what do those look like when they're combined? Boom. That's what it gives us. So that's what we end up with. So Disney to lethal. So boom, boom. Which, not bad. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. We didn't get the same type of jagged upwards that you get in the T, and we probably could have if we wanted to. We probably could have, but I didn't see a way to do a 100% accurate imitation without literally going in and adding in that extra bit of displacement or that extra bit of mask. So this is a 99% perfect imitation. Anyways, so we move on. The next thing we want to add is this text, right? The original. I know it's that thing where if it's basically not the original, then it's not good enough. But no, like you can't really tell. And when you see the finished product, you're gonna go crazy. So for the original, because the O in company has that, I wanted to add one onto the R. So I just did rectangle mask, another rectangle mask, put that on there. Just a my own little flair there. Add a transform node so I can adjust it a little bit. Then same thing as before. Add on the mosaic blur to grunge it up a bit. Combine it, and we're looking pretty good. Like we're getting there. Thank you, Max. We're getting there. So we have them combined. Oh, and then I did something else. This is so subtle. You're not gonna notice this. So here's before. Look very closely. And then after. This is what got added in. Just a little tiny bit of grunge on the text is what was added in. And we added that in with a fast noise asset. So you can see just these tiny little bits. Oh man, maybe you can't. Oh no, wait, you probably can. This is what we added in. That's all. And we did that. If I take this and I bring it out here, so normally a fast noise asset looks like this, right? Fast noise is technically like a smoke generator. So let me take off discontinuous. This is what fast noise is normally. And normally it's not even moving because the seethe rate starts down, but you do that, drag up your detail a little bit. So now it's more smoky. You can bring up your scale. So now it's way smokier. You can even do that. And then what we're gonna do, you can mess with your XY. So it's like, shh, or it's like, whoosh. Anyways, we're gonna lock that. And then you change your brightness. You can make it, there's not as much of it. Bring up your contrast to give it more like a lava feel. Bring up your detail. You can change it to discontinuous. Now you have a completely different type of pattern. And then inverted, and you end up with just these little specks of white. So we basically did that, but we brought the brightness up a ton, and we added no seethe. There's no seethe on here. So it's not moving at all, because I didn't want that. This isn't like a motion graphic title. So we add that little bit of grunge on there. Next. Oh boy, this is the fun part. This is where it really became Lethal Company. This is where we made the bottom text. Which how do you make this? How do you make this? I will show you. I am so glad you're curious about this. This right here is a P emitter node. P emitter nodes create particles. And we have 3 of them. The reason we have 3 of them is because up here we have all different kinds of little stretches. So we have these like upwards ones, we have these side ones, and we have just the regular ones. So we needed 3 different types of particles, of course, because how could one possibly be satisfied with only a single type of particle? So this is literally background 1, background 2. Yeah. And what did I even do for, where is it? Render 3. Where do I have you connected? Oh, and then the other one I apparently didn't even do anything for. I just let it be what it was. Oh, I put it as a line. That's what I did. So, what do those look like when they're combined? It looks like this. And this took so long to make. This is it looks really good though. It looks, you would never guess that these are particles. You'd guess that this is some kind of texture or some kind of little like mask that you can add on. And the thing about particles is particles move, right? And you can mess with the velocity to change their starting position and all that. I'm a little bit obsessed. So we take, because we don't want them moving. I have to stay on topic. I'm crazy, but we didn't want them moving. So you add in one of these, time speed. Then you go up to your speed, put it to 0, go up to your delay. I bumped it up a whole bunch because I didn't want anything moving. Sample spread, leave, don't even know what it does, don't care. And you get this. Then, because like, look at this. It's not perfect particles. They're not sharp. Again, ours are sharp. His are not sharp. Ours sharp, not sharp, sharp, not sharp. You get the idea. So we take this. And what did I just do? Oh yeah, here we go. We added the blur. We take that out. I put this back. Ready? Boop. It's so subtle, but it makes a difference. Then we added in a transform just to bring it down because it was up there before. We wanted it down because remember, company is going to be down here. Merge it on. Boom. There's your Disney original. You're the Disney original to my Lethal Company. Ah, if a lady says that to you, you know it's meant to be. Oh boy, do you ever. After that, we take this polygon because this, the border, super simple. I thought it was going to be a rectangle. It wasn't because it curves up a little bit here and you can see this pixelation. It means it actually is pulling out. So it's like a warped box. So we just traced around it. That's just what this is. We traced around it. Add the background on. That's what we've got. And again, it is too clean. Too clean. So, mosaic blur. Again. I had to add on that mosaic blur to bring it up. Cat pooped on my carpet. I'm back. Good to have you back, Max. So, we brought our pixel frequency up to 850 because if we have it at normal, if we have it at 100, this is what it looks like. If you add a mosaic blur onto something normal, this is what it looks like. If you bring it up to like 200, that's what you're getting. So we had to bring it up all the way to 850, I think it was, right? 850. And we ended up with that nice similar looking blur. Is your cat okay? Or was your cat pooping on the carpet for a medical reason? Merge it all together. Bam! Lethal Company with that sweet border. Love it. I don't know why this ended up darker because I used the same color code. It was weird. After that, oh, we're almost done. We're almost done. We're so close to being done. He's just really old. I can understand that. I got an old puppy. Her name's Daisy. Now she doesn't poop on the carpet, but she doesn't. She's going deaf, so she won't hear everything. But bam. The only thing that's missing, again, is the particles. So I added on the particles from this onto here, and then I noticed something was off, because you'll notice that in the center of the border here, except for like right here and like right, well, even then right there, but basically in the center of the Lethal Company border, there's basically no particles, or there's no grunge. And I made it normally until I realized that. So of course we went back to the particles and we did the same thing, and we added on our particles here. Boom. Oh, actually, no, wait, we didn't do that just yet. So let me quickly explain how we got them to not be in the middle, because you can see we kept them out of the middle pretty well. So the way that we actually did that was polygon. Okay, so when you are adding multiple masks onto each other, they interact in a really weird way, because if I do this, if I get a background and I just throw it on there, and we'll do a transform just because, so that I can bring it down. We'll do this, boom. So this is our background, and we'll make it green, like a nice kind of calm green. If you put a mask, rectangle mask on top of that, it's only going to show what's inside the mask. And then if I move this out here, right, you're only seeing what's inside the mask. If I add another mask on, now we have two, and it will also show whatever else is on this mask. If I then invert this mask, now it's not showing what's inside of this mask, but it is showing the overlap with the other mask, and even more than that, it's also showing everything else. What if you only want it to show what's inside this one? Well, then you have to not invert the mask, and you have to change this one, I think, to, yeah, if you invert that one, same thing. So we're gonna see, yeah, you have to change your paint mode to multiply. So so much of your masks will, or like if you're overlaying masks, you have to be familiar with your paint modes. Because if I, for example, wanted to animate this one to move out, like to move this way, and animate this one to move this way, but I only want when they are overlapping to be visible, only the space when they're overlapping to be visible. That's right. It's, yeah, same same thing. It took so long to understand, and even now I still will struggle with it sometimes. If I hit invert, now only the part, now it shows what's inside the mask, but it will opposite when they are overlapping. Now it won't show whatever part it is that's overlapping. So it's weird. Masks are weird. So in order to get the middle of the mask to not grunge, because what it looked like before was this, right? Particles in the middle. I didn't want that. I just used a simple polygon node to create that border and stretch it out. So we do this, and I soft edge this out, or yeah, bring the border width out. You can see if I bring the border width out, it adds on extra particles because it's expanding the range of the actual polygon itself. If I do this and I just throw a background on, you'll actually be able to see what I'm talking about here. We'll do that. So bringing your border width out is just that. And the way you do this is just by unchecking the solid box. Everything will start with solid check. You want it just to be a line, uncheck it, mess with your border width. And so in this case, because it's a mask again, I love how DaVinci, other than Premiere, is also After Effects. DaVinci Resolve is Lightroom, it's After Effects, it's Audacity. Oh, it's everything. So here's Fairlight. This is your Audacity tab. Here's Lightroom, but it's actually more than Lightroom. DaVinci is I think now it's the #1 creative tool used in Hollywood, but it was also and has been forever. Why is it showing that? I don't want to show that yet. Oh, it's showing that because I was up here. But it's also been the #1 tool for color grading because they originally started out as a color grading suite and then eventually moved into all the rest of the editing stuff. So, boom, here's your polygon. So this is still a mask, meaning that when I drag the border width out here, that's why you can see the rest of the particles. Because that's what it's doing, is it's just expanding the range of visibility. This other polygon is in the exact same position, right? It's the exact same line, but all I've done... Oop. Oh no. Oh no, what have I done? What have I done, Max? Why is it... Oh, is it because I did that? Let me see. Oh no, we've broken it. Yeah. So now this is what it looks like. Because I expanded this range because I expanded the border width on this one. I can cut out now inside of the mask what is visible. So yeah, so now you can see I didn't want things in here to be visible. So if I bring this down, you can see now particles are visible. Bring it back up. Don't want any particles. Boom. Boom. Get rid of them. Don't want them there. Gone. Bye-bye. Now, where's our reference? Where's the reference? Where's the reference? Lethal Company. Here it is. No, that's time speed. That's not the reference. This is the reference. Boom. So, that's what we did. And I believe that, yeah, this is the end product. So, you compare Lethal Company to Disney Original, but it's also Lethal Company, and that's how the graphic is made. And it looks really, really good. Oh boy, does it ever look good. So after that, because this is only one part, right? Here's the whole... Oops. Oh no. Like the Knuckles meme. Oh no. So here's the Disney part. Here's the Disney part right here. And up here is the Lethal Company part. What is all this? Where does this all go? What does it all do? I'm so glad you asked. So let's I think I can hit Control E, yeah, to bring that back down. Let's bring this right back down there and boop. Let's take a look at some more nodes, shall we? Because this is where it all comes together and these two things get combined. Are you ready, Max? Are you ready to witness the plan all coming together? Because it comes together in a really cool way. We did some really cool stuff here. Okay, Max doesn't know. Okay, that's all. Don't worry, Max. So we have the red one, and we have the blue one. We're gonna do some glitching here. We're gonna create some really cool stuff. We're gonna do that, a white screen, the hardest thing to create. We're gonna do this, which you haven't seen that yet. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. Oh, I made a really cool thing as well. I won't show it in this one, but where's my reference footage? I'll show you. Actually, I'll just show you the effect because I wanted to in order to incorporate properly this, right? With this, I had to figure out how to properly change it from literally from that to that. I was like, okay, well, what's the in between? How do we get that? And I'm thinking of, yeah, the transition, but it needs to properly work. How do I make that happen? And I couldn't just be like, oh, I couldn't throw a crossfade on it and be like, it's done, because it's, although it would be very easy, it would also be very lazy. And I I didn't want to. I wanted to go all the way because I had already finished it. So what we ended up with, if I can turn this down, is we ended up with this. And I'm not going to do an effect breakdown. I will show you my reference because I think it is important. I think it's important to show you references. So this was the, oh wait, let me drag this back. So if you've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the music is louder. Oh wait, shit. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, if I mute the music on my headphones, it for some reason gets super, super loud. So if you've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you'll recognize this opening. By the way, I created this really, really cool effect. Really, really cool. Or I started making it. Really cool. This is what I used as reference. Like, there's a lot that happens right there. There is a lot that happens right there. I didn't make the Marvel thing. I don't get too excited. I didn't make the Marvel thing. I did, however, use that and went ahead and I did this. Oh, wait, you know what? I can do this. I can straight up show you. I went ahead and I did this. That's what I did. Right? You take it, and I had to come up with just a real, just super, super smooth. Boom. Take it and run with it straight to the bank. Now I will quickly mute the audio. Oh, and I could use I used the same audio, which I thought it worked so well too. It's, oh man, it worked. So this, same thing with the text, used a plugin which made the percentage thing, and then recreated the green with the masks, which, oh my god, this confused the hell out of me, making it look like that, which masks, layering, the more masks you layer on each other, the crazier it gets. Thank you, Max. Here's what we'll do a quick run through, and I'll mute these just so that you don't have to hear each frame. So we play it through, and the first thing, oh, it's weird. I'm gonna explain it best I can. There we go. Music back on. We have a mask that acts as just like cut out the Disney Plus, show the Disney original Lethal Company, and then we went boom, showed it for a moment, cut back into it again, but this time we're showing the reds, and we've offset the reds, and we're also changing the mask as well. So you can see right in here, this is offset. We do the same thing in another frame, same thing in another frame. The blues don't really show up that much. After we overlay the emboss on top of it, you can see that. Cut it out again. I hope we get to see the blue in here. Yeah, there's some more of the embossing, the embossed version. Yep, down there. Boom, on top. And then it goes gray. Mask stuff. Mask stuff is not the bane of my existence, but it's pretty close. And then we overlay on the default Lethal Company startup up here. Overlay that on, slowly bring everything in. Then we add some TV lines, add in an extra glitch effect. Boom. This is where the red version comes in. And we have that pop on. As soon as this is coming in, right? And it glitches, it goes from white and embossed to then we have the startup, boom, boom, boom. And then we add on, there were a couple different glitches I had here. I think I had the normal glitch, and then I had an extra glitch plugin that I found from some obscure YouTube channel that has like 2,000 subscribers. And he's like, here's my glitch plugin. It's like Thai Photos Glitch 2 or something. And it's really, really good. So I add that on there. I added it onto both the Disney original, through the Disney Plus original, Disney Plus, and the Disney original. Then straight up glitch everything out, boom, 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 until only this one is left. Then, come on, where is it? Where is it? Glitch it one more time, but this is just a much more tame version of the Thai Photos 2 glitch with TV lines, and they blend together. They do. Oh, it's really cool. Well, yeah, because I did go from regular glitching, and this is kind of showing you what you're gonna get. Your eyes will look at things, and even though you don't recognize it, your unconscious will see it, and it's not as much of a shock when you suddenly jump from here to here. So you see that, and then it goes to red, and then it comes to here. Then we do the scan lines. This writes on, and then it stops glitching, and then we glitch super hard again. And there we go. I added on, I could have sworn I added on something else. Where is it? Did I add it on after? Holy shit, I might have to... We might have this might be the second last version of this effect, because I did add on an extra layer. Yeah, that's 11. So let's do this. If I do this, and I come back to here, hazard level S. Did I show more of this? We're gonna see. I think maybe let's see here. Text, because yeah, we're looking for text here. Hazard level. I think I debated adding in the description for Embryon because well, it's called Embryon Plus, the project itself. Embryon Plus. Because I'm thinking that's what I want to call the video, and that's the whole reason why this exists, because I thought, oh, Embryon Plus, it'd be really funny if I remade the Disney one. So I remade that as a little joke. Then I had to make both of them because it was really cool. Add in the hazard plus thing. This is just keyframing. The little animation of it going. This is just size keyframing up here. Like, so you can do this part in the edit page. So if we're up here, which I know it's small now, but you can see, and it goes like that. And then this fades in, and all together we get that. Max, stop complimenting me. You're gonna boost my ego too much. Boom. Disney Plus, Disney Original, hazard level S, and we're on, and we join right in the action. And then I got some notes for Cameron on this, but I don't remember what they were. I'm gonna have to ask him again. I am downloading DaVinci. Yes, we converted another one. That's really fun. DaVinci Resolve is so much fun. It's like I enjoy this software so much because I can make whatever I want, and for the most part, I don't have to worry about like, oh no, my subscription again. And it's like, if I'm using the Creative Cloud, oh, you gotta go. No worries, brother. It's 4 a.m. where you are. For sure, you get some sleep. Let DaVinci Resolve. Oh, DaVinci Resolve 19.1 is out, by the way. So, and it has some really cool stuff. I'll show you what it has really quick before you go. They added in. These are just things. Oops. These are just things that you have, by the way. Now, I have never paid Adobe. So they added in. These are all now just things you have. These might only be in the studio version, but they give you a lot in the normal. So they added this cube array you can use as a fun background, this fun disk wall, and oh snap, you can put the animation up. What happens if I do this and I just yank the crank? Oh, it'll keep going. And bevel depth and bevel width, random seed. Oh yeah, you can really mess with a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I haven't messed with a lot of the new effects because I've been so busy. You've got gradient lines and the gradient lines and the contours like this. You're like, oh yeah, this is fun. This is a fine effect. Version 2, they made paper. Version 3, let's add. Oh, where's the movement rate? Movement rate. Let's add some weird animation to it. Movement 4 is lines, and you can, of course, you can change it into whatever you want, right? It's crazy. This is just one effect. Got whatever that is, and you got like a target. That's your contours. That was in the old version. This I really like. Hexagon glow. I really like hexagons. And you got honeycomb, which this I'm 100% using as a background. 100%. And of course you have more animation, more tone blend and stuff. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. Yeah, that's like, and you just have that. You just have all these. This is new as well. Radial lines. There's lots, like the community is so incredible too. You're gonna love it. I'll send you a link to join the community as well. There's the Discord, the DaVinci Resolve Discord. It's beautiful. Oh, you'll love it. Now, how do we make this? That's what we originally set out to do. How do we make the Squid Games thing? You'll probably be able to watch this tomorrow. You'll be able to see how far we get. We'll probably make it to like the end of this. Yeah, it's lines moving, which means that, well, it's not just the lines moving. So it's the lines, but it's also, you have the pink and you have the green. So those are so the pink is following, the green is leading. So you have those as well. And then you need to be very like paying good attention because you also have drop shadows. Things are passing in front and behind. So you have like a chromatic aberration kind of. All right, Max. You get some sleep. You get some sleep, brother. Have a good night. Yeah, it'll be here tomorrow for you to see the result of where we go. Good night, Max. Keep on creating. Even in your dreams, dream of creativity, dream of success. Because the world is your oyster, and whatever you see, you can create. So, first things first, we've got to drag in our media. And the reason I actually never use my main media in my Fusion composition is because that will immediately set the resolution of my composition to whatever my media is. And your media is often not the resolution you want. It's also just good practice to be using a Fusion composition instead of media, because if you use media as the foundation for your composition, as your the clip, the vessel, then if that media disappears, technically so does your Fusion composition. So, yeah, just to be safe, because there's some technicalities about saving your nodes, but just to be safe, always use a Fusion composition instead of just, going, okay, here's my reference, boop, and then next thing you know, you can't find it. because it's gone. And it's also the wrong resolution, which you don't want at all. So the way we actually fix that, and depending on what you're doing, you can drop your bottle cap. And then you can change your background to be 4K background, which is 3840 by 2160. That's your 4K resolution. 3840 by 2160. So here's a comparison. Or here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. I'll show you a comparison just so that you can see. We'll go green again. We'll go like a nice blue. A nice blue here. And we'll drag the merge on top. After that, we're going to get a transform and we're going to go boop. And this is 640 by 30 compared to 1920 by 1080. I can change this. No auto resolution, 3840 by 2160. And this is 4K compared to what the native resolution of the clip was. And if you accidentally make your asset on this, and then you're like, oh, but I wanted a 4K asset, I'll just size it up. Well, no, you won't, because it's going to look really bad. Like it's going to end up now, and obviously because we've squished this out, right? It's not going to look how it looks on here. If we connect this to our media out, you're still going to end up with a blurry product overall. If I was to grab text and add it onto here as well. We'll do that. I'm gonna replace the media and put a merge on there. Madman Mason. Goglr is bored. Goglr's feeling creative again. I just showed Max how I made the Disney Plus and Disney original text in Lethal Company style. I'll show what I'll do for you. I will show you what the end goal, the end product looked like. I won't give you the breakdown because the breakdown is long because it's 2 different effects and then a whole bunch more effects to combine them together. So when I bring this out, this is what we end up with, and this is to go into the next video. That's how we're jumping in. To the right? Okay. That's how we're jumping into the next video. So, be on the lookout because I want to add more effects. I want to do more effects in it. That's basically what I'm using YouTube now as, is a fun creativity canvas where you can create till your heart's content. And my cap is on my water bottle. Anyways, yeah, never ever create on something because it'll fuck up your, like, using the native resolution normally will fuck up your composition because 640 by 360 is really, really low res. Always make a fusion composition. And boop. Always make a fusion composition because this is what 4K looks like in comparison to 640 by 360. If you're just making something normal, I'm going to hit auto resolution. Auto resolution is going to put everything back to normal. This is 1920 by 1080. So that's a lot better. I'm going to bring this up here. This will be our canvas, like our reference, because you always want to have a reference when you're making something. If you make something without a reference, it'll still be good, but it might lack some of the timing. It might lack some of the little touches. Always create with a reference. That's something I've learned over like the past 4 years that I've been doing this. Always create with a reference. So I need to see just like, oh my god. This I don't even know how to start this off. So this is like, oh man, this is going to be interesting. So what we're trying to do is recreate the Squid Games intro. But the way I'm seeing this is I have like B-splines. So I have the lines moving. Not only that, there's 2 extra layers, both of them behind, because you have the leading blue and the following purple. But then you have extra lines, and then you also have, actually, wait a second. This is a transform. You can tell because this is too low. So this is just a shrinking triangle, and this is a separate line. That's how they did it. So they got the chromatic aberration, faded it in, because you can see this isn't in here before. They fade it in, boop, boop, boop. And then by the time it reaches here, it's gone. It's all sized down, and then they fade it back out. Imagine that. So we're going to have a whole bunch of lines. And the more that I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, okay, yeah, this won't be too hard. Because as soon as you can see, as soon as this becomes, like, as soon as this stops moving, they change it. They turn it into 3 different masks. And it goes boom. It just fades away. Boom. So it's a lot of not match cuts, but they're doing a lot of replacements and a lot of overlaying things that are the same color so that it looks like it's working together. Even this, you have a drop shadow. You have a drop shadow on here, but you don't have the drop shadow on here. And I'm thinking that it's because of the direction they're having it go. They're having it go from left to right. And because this is all layered on top of the left to right, or all on the right side, you're not even seeing it. So let's start off and what we're going to do is we're going to layer this on. We are going to use a transform, and then we're going to bring this up and size it up until it's the same size as our canvas. We're going to do that. Is this just going to be 3? No way. That's hilarious. It's basically just a size 3. I'll do it. Just to be super accurate, I'll do it as 3.001, 3.002, 3.003. There we go. And now it completely covers the screen. Now that we have that, we are actually ready to start tracing over it. The way we're going to do that is by just doing a blend. We could do a screen. If you do screen, and when you add things on top, then you can see them. The only thing about screening is it gets rid of certain colors, like black, for example. So when I have it on normal, and I just put it at like 0.6, the black is still burnt on there. I'm going to put it to like 0.35. So it's transparent, but I can still see all my colors. So I'm going to do that. And there's no movement, really. Now, when we're making this, I'm going to have to look at each one individually. Because this triangle is actually a line with a triangle. This is literally just a B-spline with the position and right on changed. Like I'm fairly certain. And then the square is 4 different lines. So, and then the same thing with the other circle. In fact, wait a second. So these 2 circles are basically the same. The animation, the timing is just different because this one This one is here. This one is here. This one, boop, boop, boop. This one, a little bit slower. This one's lagging behind. This one didn't. This one was brought forward a grade. This one was held back, if you know what I'm saying. So, how are we gonna make this? Oh, I forget. I have Discord on there. There we go. I'll move Discord over just for you guys. How am I? This is so. What have I got myself into here? Let's go. Damn. Oh, by the way, today I got myself, this is random, got myself an oil controller deep scrub exfoliant. So nice. Isn't that great? Your skin can look great, and so can your animations. I'm not sponsored, but I should be. I haven't used that product before, actually, so don't use that product because I don't know if it's good yet. Anyways, let's trace some lines. First, let's see if we can. Let's grab a B-spline and trace it on top. Trace it on top of this. So, oh man, I'm gonna have to see. So does this just move out? Damn. Okay, never mind. So there's a transference between this and this. I'll show you what I mean. This frame to this frame, new asset. They changed the visibility. Boop. That's the only way that you would do that with having, unless, oh, wait a second. Because there's a couple ways you can do. There's some easy ways and there's some hard ways. I do not want to have a keyframe here. Boop. Because you can, oh, I'll make this smaller. Because you can pull, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this so you can see. Because it's a straight shot here and you have a bit of bulk up here, which tells me that it's probably just an ellipse and the right on is different. Yeah, it looks like two different things interacting. And then once this ends, they just cut it. Yeah, boop. And it keeps going. Yeah. And it's just two different things. That's what that tells me. And so I think what we're going to do is maybe an ellipse. We'll try an ellipse. And I'm going to grab a background. We'll throw it onto the background. Make the background like some weird. We'll make the background. What's the opposite of blue? Orange. We'll make the background orange. We're going to make this not solid. We're going to bring up the border width by like 0.1. Actually, we'll do that by 0.01. We'll do it by 0.4. No. Damn it. I was right the first time. 0.2. Right in between. And let's see. Position. And length. Yeah. So, do that. Yeah. So, it's just got to be length. And you can, here's something interesting. Change the position. Ooh, so nice. So nice. So cool. 0.25 to keep it directly at the top. Just about, anyways. Close enough at the top. And then you just go, wow. I do that. There we go. Now I can properly write that off. And you go, wow. And then you would have another one. And it'd just be like a straight line. It just go zoop. You can even do it as a rectangle. Wait. That might be how they did it. That might be how they did it. They might have gone like this. Solid. Bring this up to 0.2. And then what are we gonna do for this? Multiply. Because that's 0.2. That's, oh, that's point. That's not 0, 0. And I'm going to do that. Then we want to change this to be invert. No, we want to be invert. Nope. Two different types of inverts. Copy, or is it ignore? No, it's not ignore. Multiply. No, we did multiply already. Merge. Merge. Kept it on merge. I should have just left it. So then the rectangle would just be at the top here, where we have the length. Mason, I am bored. Let's be honest here. And boom, we just merge those in, and we make it look clean, unlike the original Squid Game one. Sorry, Squid Game, but I know you're on a budget, and I know you're on a time crunch, but keep that quality control, my friend. Boom. So now that you have that, we take our rectangle. We first change this to here. Boom. And oh, I shouldn't put this in the way. Egg on my face. So after we do that, we're going to change the position. Change the position. You change the position. Change the position, and then you'd have that just follow off the screen. So, or you know what? Let me just drag this over. I'll drag it down to like here. Bring that over. Damn, actually, I should not drag that in that much. Boom. So now I'm so used to working on this one. I'll work on this one, and I'll keep that out here. So then, boom. So there's our position. We're gonna pull this over actually like a tiny bit more, like a pixel. Like that's literally all we want in the transform is like a couple pixels. And you can see are we slightly off? I think we're good. Yeah, so that's how that would work. That's the only way I can see it. I can see it working. And I think I need it to be like that, because that's how it would go. Is you're gonna have this length thing go whoop, and then you're gonna have this rectangle go whoop. That's how you're gonna have it go. So they're gonna follow each other. And yeah. So as soon as this happens, boom, like that, next pixel, oh, that's why we need to be right here. I was wondering. Yeah, so boom, just like this. And then the next pixel, you're pulling that rectangle in. I'm gonna move my camera down. Yeah, so next pixel, you're pulling that camera in. Or that camera, you're pulling that rectangle in. So that is how that works. That's how this works, right? So we'll actually animate that right now. Do. Squid Game music. We'll go boom. And I'll leave this length at 1. And we're halfway down here. Well, actually, we'll just do it all the way down. And here's like the top of our circle. So that's going to be there. Now our circle should go woo, woo. Boom, just like that. We might remake this in 60 frames per second. Just because I'm noticing how smooth that looks. Actually, you know, that is smaller as well. So that's a huge part of this. Because if I transform this down and I merge it on top. And bring this up. Put that in like the center. Bring our border width up and up and up and up and up. So we're overlapping. And with these, I will usually go for as big as possible. The only thing is now we are actually too big for the thing itself. How big is my background here? 1920 by 1080. This one's also 1920 by 1080. I know why that's doing that. Anyways, so you just drag this up. And then I'm not going to soften it because I know it's just the low resolution of the asset itself. So now that we know what our border width is going to be for the ellipse, we know what our border width is going to be for the rectangle. And we're going to drag that up accordingly. We're also going to bring the rectangle down so that it matches the Y position. And boom, we have that. So now that we have that, we would want our rectangle realistically to come out further. We want a rectangle out like this, basically, like super, super far. And this is something that I'm going to do on one big canvas, because you can see if I'm pulling this over, right? It's moving on the other canvas as well. It's moving on this one. Meaning that I literally can't move it over on here. I would have to move the whole transform over, but then if I move the whole transform, then let's do this, then the circle will get moved. So what we do instead is we would have one massive background. 8 billion. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. I'm going to have to use a standard size for everything. Standard border width. Everything's going to be super, super small. Or not even super small, but everything is going to fit all in one. It's either I make a whole bunch of pieces and they're all modular, or not all modular, but I split the graphic into pieces. Or I have like 8 billion different nodes here. Oh. Then I need to figure out for just this how the drop shadow is going to work. So I'm going to need to have like 3 or 4 different versions of this. And I'm going to have to, this will be interesting. This will be very interesting. A sip of non-alcoholic beverage, unidentified, of course, because it's not sponsored. Okay. You know what they say, when you don't know what to do, the first step is raw action. So we're going to do this, put this onto the background, and get rid of that, I am going to bring the transform onto here. Just because for now, because I want to see what it looks like. And I'm going to get rid of this other merge because I don't need it. So now you can see if I grab the rectangle, it's small on here. So now I can move it all around. And it's fine and it's good. And it doesn't matter. This background, I technically don't need anymore. I can get rid of it. And we can work just on this one. I can even bring these in. Right? Bring this down, bring this down. I can zoom everything right in so you can see all the pretty words and what everything looks like. Oh boy, oh boy. I think this is about as squished as it's going to get, chat. And now we make the thing. Or does the thing make us? Color we will change it to something that's kind of see-through. There we go. That's like that's such an ugly color, but it works. That's the important part. So the ellipse we're gonna move until it's overlaid on top. Don't want it too far out. Stretched ever so slightly so it's not a perfect circle. And the rectangle, I'm going to look and see how far that needs to be. That's going to be here. The rectangle needs to be stretched out like right there. Wow. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this rectangle. And I'm just going to do that so I know where I want the lines to line up. And now you can see I have this extra one here, so. Boop, boop. So I can see that smoothed slightly over. I'm a tad too long here, so I'm going to move it down by like half. And then now I can pull this over. I think the center position should be relatively similar. So if I grab this and I paste this in here. Never mind, I stand corrected because it is based off of this. It's not based off of the other thing. So. There we go. And I can get rid of this. And now the right on the length should work pretty well. Boom. Now we are a bit too thick. So let's bring our soft edge down a tiny bit and bring this up. Interesting. Okay, so this is just, oh, like it almost, it's like the border width almost changes. That's so weird. It's like the border width. Oh yeah, the border width. The border width is changing. Look at that. The border width changes slightly. You can see it's kind of thick down here. Then you move over and it shrinks right down. You can see it right here as it moves back. So it shrinks. This is a crazy effect. Like there's so much that went into this that I don't even, like they clearly didn't need to do that, but they just added it on as a nice little extra piece in there. Like there was no reason to add it on. But they did. For some reason. So we will do that later. We'll do that afterward. We don't need that right now. Because border width can be changed later. Yeah, because... Oh, and that's why. Because they wanted to go from big circle to small circle. This also tells us how big, how wide we want our rectangle, which means that this guy gets to stay here for a little bit longer. Because we're going to need this come down just a little bit. Boom. Until it is sized out almost. It's almost there. Right. Drag it out. Center, bring down. And oh, we're so right, tiny bit, and more. And we're golden. That's it. Right there. Boom. That's all we need. I don't know what this is. That is weird. Oh, that's the other one. That's what it is. So now we get rid of that. Boom. And now we have a proper line when we're going from here down to here. So it's a lot of precise tracing. And this is doing that slow... Oh, this is going to be horrible. This is going to be horrible just for the sizing. Because it sizes itself down. But you can see there's a zoom. It's moving. And then it sizes itself again. And it zooms back out. This is going to be horrible to make this. Like, oh my gosh. It's not that it's going to be difficult. It's just going to be so tedious. I'm going to have to fine tune the hell out of this in order to make it as close to the original as possible. Yeah, boom, boom. And I'm going to have to do this for every piece. So that's like all those lines moving. Custom, all custom. Oh boy. Now, if I really wanted to, I could just take a 4K version of this and then let me do this. And then right at this moment, I could replace everything. Which isn't a bad idea. Because what it'll take to get from here to here is a lot. And we don't have a ton of time. So we're going to really quick see if we can find a 4K Squid Game opening. Because it's not this that I'm worried about. This is all just going to be copied. This is what would be custom made. Squid Game intro 4K. English version. This might just be the same one. Is this it? This is 1920 by 1080. Oh, dun 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 dun. It's not bad. Here's something else about why custom assets are better with Goglr. So when it comes to custom, is that, what was that there? You can see the asset is moving. Like it's the pixels. I'm not crazy. Like, you see that too, right? They're moving. They're shifting, like... Is that happening anywhere else, or is it just the square? It's only the square. What did they have? I think they accidentally left some keyframes, or they're like, oh, it's fine. Send it out. So I could send it out. Just like copy this or leave it up to this point. But it wouldn't be exact. It would, or it wouldn't be as close as it can be. So we'll see if we can find like a 4K. I just typed in what? I just typed in 4K. 4K downloader. 4K video downloader free. YouTube, TikTok. I don't want to download a 4K plus. I don't want to download video downloader super duper high quality quantity. Excuse me, 4K plus. I don't want that. I just want something. Nope, I'm not downloading. I'm not downloading a download application. Nope, I'm not downloading an application. Come on. 4K downloader YouTube. Let's try that. Oh, and I'll put the music back on. There we go. This is an ad. Yeah, it's just another downloader. I don't want a desktop. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, here we go. I found one. Let's see. Download YouTube videos in HD quality with 0 watermarks. Searching. It's searching for one. I can try AI video too, apparently, with this. YouTube downloader. I don't know what it's supposed to be searching for either. Looks like someone's trying to download Game of Thrones official trailer, but it's 1 hour long, which makes no sense. All right, what do we got? Squid Game, download, MP4. So the only options that we have here, apparently. Oh, and never mind. We can do 1920 by 1080. Ooh, we might have just done it. We might have just done it. I had no internet connection for 2 seconds, and now the internet is back. This is good, though. This is looking good. Everything's looking up. All right, let's see if we have it. Oh boy, look at that. Time to see if it's actually... Oh, that looks high quality. Oh boy, we might have it. We just might have it here. Let me drag this straight in to here. Or not. Come on, here we go. Boop. And bam. 1920 by 1080. So I'm not saying that that a lot of work has been done for us. But I think a lot of work has been done for us. If I put this one, and I could just compare the two. Look at the boxes. That's the difference right there. The only thing is, I like to make things authentically. And the problem with making this and just copying some of the media is that if I export it as an effect, the person who I would, like, let's say I want to sell this as a modular effect, and somehow you're able to animate it in, and it would just use the text as like a write-on tool, and somehow, like, there'd be a lot of code involved with this. The person who buys it now, what I guess I could do it as a DRFX file. I could probably export with the media part. But if I didn't, or if someone wanted to change the way the first part looked, now you can't, because it doesn't exist. Because it's just the default media. So there's our dilemma. That's our dilemma. I think we can go a little bit longer, though. I'm gonna need some more pump up music, though. Let's try this. No, I want something. Something higher. Give me something higher. Stream beats. EDM. Let's try this. We've got 2 different EDM options. Oh, that sounds dead. Yeah, that's too slow for me. Oh, that's less slow. Let's do that. Yo, what's going on, Menlo? Immediately puts user in timeout because he has too much energy for the stream. He's got to cool down. I'm joking. We wouldn't do that. We're debating the moral qualms of do we recreate this? And here's a 1080. You can tell boxes. I was showing the boxes earlier. Do we recreate boxes? This is 1080. This is 640 by like 360 or something. Do we recreate the moral qualm? Do we recreate this part? Or do we only recreate it from this point onward when it is doing this? Because the amount of animation that you need for this to work is a lot. So you have this, which is a circle ellipse, which melds into a rectangle. You have the triangle, which is the triangle in itself, but your pivot point is different because it's going to shrink down to here. And you can tell that it's just 2 lines right here, right? It's 2 lines going down there. You have your drop shadows to take into account. And then we realized that not only that, the entire thing itself is moving. Let's get rid of that. The entire thing, this, it zooms, it slowly moves out. That would be the last piece of the puzzle. But if you're looking at your rectangle and your circle, these ones are ours, the brown, because it has a nice contrast. This they subtly, so subtly change the border width on you as it moves. Look at this end, and then look as it moves over to here. Your border width is changing. It's getting thinner as it goes. And the reason it does that is, I realized, because you're making little circle. So you're going from big circle, and then they change the border width as they go to little circle. So you take that into account. Where's our good media? Here we go. You take that into account. You have your purple, or you're not your purple. They also were messing with the keyframes here. Like, this is jittery as hell. You have that. No, this is not a pack. So this is the literal Squid Games eat. This is the literal thing here. So I do this. I get rid of these. This is the literal just intro. This is just the intro pulled off of YouTube. Squid game, squid game, squid game, squid game, squid game. So we haven't made anything. We're looking at how it's made. This is like the TV show, how it's made, but for graphics instead. So we're looking, and it's going to be circle ellipse, right? So it's going to be circle ellipse into rectangle ellipse, and then if I drag it further along, this is just a triangle made with polygons. This is going to be just a regular polygon, and you need to have your pink and your green here as well, because you have your chromatic aberrations happening. And then you're going to have some other stuff shrinking in. The border stuff is going to be interesting. And then you also have your drop shadows. These are all the little touches that are going to make it nice. Is the slow zoom and the border touches. Now, we're not going to have this problem. Because we got that high quality. So when you're looking at this and you're seeing that jitter right there, that's not us. Not what we do. Sorry, Squid Games. I'm on a lower budget, excuse me. I'm on a lower budget, but I'm making higher quality. Oh, how does that work? Obsession, that's how. So, we're looking at, okay, well, what do we do? How do we make it? And it starts with just doing one thing at a time. Because I think the way we're going to do it is creating the first part of each one. And after we've made the one, we're going to animate both the green and the pink. And it's going to have a very similar spline, but you can tell that it's not stretched out. So it's most at going from like here to here. And it's probably not even that. It could realistically be, the pink could be all the way out to here and the green could be all the way to here, and we wouldn't know because it's hidden behind, but it's probably not. It might even be getting chased. Like they might not even have it on top just for any kind of, even like you see the green fading in. It might just be that. Because this is the high quality one too. So it might just be getting chased, honestly. We're going to want the color code as well for both of those. Let's actually grab those right now. Background, and go to like a clean spot. Grab, pick, boom, and go a little further along and grab, pick, boom. And now I am the Squid Game. Do. Oh, music back on. Hey. So I'm gonna put this as pink background, and this is gonna be green background. And now whenever I need these, I can just pull them up. I think I can change the node color as well. Set color. I can set this one as purple, and I can set this one. I could probably leave it as the green, but I think there might be a better green. Lime. That looks kind of yellowy, actually. So I can pull this, pull it back down. Green, boom. Pink and green, they'll stand out a little bit. They won't get caught up in the rest of this mess. The B-spline, I don't think we need. I think we can probably do the majority of this without using splines, which I'm actually very happy about. I think we are going to use polygons, but after that, it's all just shapes. It's going to be circles and squares and polygons, that's all. Which I'm actually really happy, because splines are super interesting. If you want to make a proper curve with a spline, you got to get a little. It's kind of like when you're animating an actual spline, an actual in your spline editor type spline. If we do this, You go like that. It's like this. Like you're grabbing this, and you're like, and you got to figure out. So if I was to do this, for example, right? Boop, and I have this curve, and I take out the solid and I just invert it. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I wanted this to come out a little bit further on here. Now you have to actually take the spline and you pull it out a little bit. Now, what if I wanted this corner to be more like a bit sharper? I want it to be less rounded. You add in close to your corners here. The closer you can get to your corner, the sharper it looks. So now this is more like it's more like a speech bubble, actually. Here, we can drag this out. We can do like oops, didn't want to do that. Now that's more like a speech bubble, but you get the deal. So splines are different. Splines you need to have even more detail with, because they're curves, and the curve isn't always as curvy as you want it to be. And everyone who likes curves knows that some curvy is going to be better than some other curvy, and everyone's got their own little preferences about curvy. Can we make homemade gingerbread and decorate cookies for Christmas? Probably. Anyways, Crab Champions original soundtrack. Can I use that? Can I use that on YouTube? Crab Champions OST. Dawn? There's Dawn and there's Puffin Party. Puffin Party. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna get struck for that. Crab Champions OST, 33 videos. Noise Storm, Mitzi's, Crazy Frog, and more. Let's see who has more. Who has more videos? Oh, this is not it at all. That one is a mix. That one's not the actual Crab Champions one. Crab Champions OST. We'll play it because I'm pretty sure it's if we go onto Steam, I'm pretty sure it's fine to use on YouTube. Being a creator, he would have to know. He would have to know that you're gonna end up with music being fine. You're gonna get some sleep. Hope you have fun. Thank you, brother. We'll have some fun, and we're gonna learn a ton. We're gonna learn so much. Well, we'll learn some. We're gonna create a whole bunch. Starting January 1st, 2024, the Steam client will only support Windows 10 and later versions. I didn't know that. It's a good thing I have Windows 10. I think we can play this, though. That should be fine. Right on. Crab Champions OST. We'll soon find out if Crab Champions is allowed on YouTube. Because I don't know. So we have our media. We have this. Man, this is gonna be. So I'm gonna get rid of my ellipse or my rectangle for the time being. And I want to have just the ellipse, because what I'm gonna do is pull this up and animate this to have the exact same timing. That's what we want. So if I go to my ellipse keyframe, I can see this is where the keyframe should be. So I'm going to pull this away. And I think we'll actually just do that. Yeah, we'll just do that. That's better. So now I'll want to look at my length and pull it out. that much. Literally, I get super granular. I get so incredibly granular with this. And then if I pull a merge up, now I can be a bit more... Actually, you know what? I should just do... I don't know why I wouldn't have done this. Just copy, paste that. I don't even... Technically, I don't even need this. But I will rename it as reference. And then copy, paste, because I'm too lazy to type it. Reference 1. Oh, and I should probably scale that down. Da-dun-da. Now this is also 1920 by 1080, so we don't need to worry about that. I am going to transform this to... Oh, never mind. I don't even need to. I can just do that. I don't even need the transform, so that's fine. Okay. So now we grab our lips. Pull the length down. We're there. Move some more. Pull it down some more. Move another couple frames. Wow, we're actually like quite good with that. But like I said, I'm super granular with this. So, oh, that's interesting. Theirs is curving differently as well. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. So let's take a look and see what we have so far. Oops, I realize I've just accidentally been moving that. There we go. So now we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. I'm looking at this specifically. I'm looking at this to watch. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're pulling away. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. 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 Now we go to our lips. Add a keyframe because we're good here. Then in the next turn we're not. Pull the length down. Now we're good again. Same thing. Length down. Boom. Pull down. And I think the way we're going to do this is we're going to animate our movement first. After that, we'll animate our border. Because I don't see any universe in which animating the border is going to be more helpful doing it first than doing it afterward. I don't see that. Because it's a smaller change. It would involve some transform controls. I think at most it would involve some transform controls, a little bit of fine tuning. But it's not going to make or break the effect, even if we didn't have them in there. And for example, this just, like if we didn't have the transform control or the border width controls in there, and this just looked thicker, I don't think most people would notice. That's where you're going the extra mile, because that's thicker. That is not as thick. And I think they even do increase the border width a little bit. Yeah, you can see right in here. Oh my gosh, I just did it again. Okay. So, oh, I'm still doing it. There we go. I have to unselect my ellipse. Oh, or is that just zooming out? It might be just it zooming out, honestly. Oh no, it is. It's getting a little, it's getting, oh my gosh, it's getting barely larger. So that's going to be a border width thing that we look at. That's after. That's something to look at afterwards. That's not something we would even consider looking at right now because it wouldn't help anything. Let me toggle that off. Bring that back down. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, so we have that. Circle goes in. Now we bring the rectangle on. And we're going to rename this as top circle. Even name it as top C. And top rectangle. And the reason I'm labeling these is half because I'm streaming, because I normally never label anything. It's just a whole mess of rectangle 1, rectangle 2, transform 2, back. It's just a whole mess of stuff. Normally, but also because this is going to be a whole mess of different polygons, and I'm going to want to know what is what, and I'm going to probably group them so that you can see some proper etiquette with how this is being created. Okay. Yeah, you can see that moving. Actually, I don't even think I need to be zooming this at all. I think I can just... Wait a second. Because I learned about the zoom afterwards, that it zooms out. This is crazy. So, and then if we pull this out, is it? It's got to just have that, and then that's so strange. It's not going to be exact. It really isn't. It really won't be. But it's going to look indistinguishable from the other one to the naked eye. If your eye isn't wearing pants, you won't be able to tell the difference. If you're not wearing pants, put on some pants, and you still won't be able to tell the difference. Because that's how it works. I don't think there's a label on my can here, yeah. Still unsponsored. Still unsponsored. So now this is the point where we are going to grab our rectangle. Now's the time where we mess with the length. Oh boy, everyone's favorite part. So we are going to need this over here. Excuse me, we might even have to revisit this in the morning, because I'm just about getting ready to go to bed. So how about we do that, actually? We'll revisit this either tomorrow in the morning, sometime later in the week. Tomorrow's Thursday. So maybe on Friday. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's all for this stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. And we will see you. Hey, new to the stream, do you think this would be better to do in Resolve or After Effects? Well, Vaxen, to tell you the truth, I have not used After Effects enough to be able to tell. What I can tell you is that to create this effect, you don't need a ton of know-how. This isn't something that will take you really a lot to do. Like you don't need to have a ton of knowledge. You don't need to have a ton of crazy advanced nodes. This, and I'll close this. Never mind. I'll just bring this down. So this effect here, if you're looking at it, you can see this is just a circle ellipse, and you're changing how much of the right on there is, and you can look right here and see that it's joined with a rectangle. The rectangle moves down, and then it just gets joined to another circle. So it's super, super simple. So it's just masks, essentially. That's all it is. And then these lines here. So let's look at the triangle as well, because this is going to be a little bit different than the circle, where it's a circle, a rectangle, and then another circle. This one, 300, oh yeah, 100%. So I'll give you some background. I got DaVinci Resolve, the free version, 4.5, wow, I'm coming on 5 years, I think. Am I coming on 5 years? Yeah, I'm coming on 5 years now. So I got the free version of DaVinci Resolve back in 2020. And I started creating with it. And I wouldn't recommend buying the studio version right away, because you're not going to use all of it right away. You're going to want to learn the software. If you drag an effect on and it says, oh, sorry, just for studio, and there's a lot of that happening for it, or for what you want to do, then I'd purchase the studio. But the free version, you'll be able to explore with and do a ton with in not only the Fusion page, but the edit page and the color page as well. The color page is magnificent. You're going to love it. So, short answer, start with the free version. If you like it enough, get the studio version. I'll show you right now something that I made with... Actually, and you might even be able to make this in the free version as well. Like, DaVinci Resolve is a powerful software. And they don't skimp out on the quality, and they don't skimp out on the capability. I bought it back when... Or I got it back when it was DaVinci Resolve 16.5. It was like Minecraft, like 16.5. Everything was just popping off and really ramping up. And 16 was really good. You got maybe 85 to 90% of the software in the free version. And it was just that last 10%, that studio, that you had to pay for, which would be things like noise reduction, which most people don't use anyways, and some extra fusion controls. Now, I would say, because of how much they've added, and they have added so much into the software, we're now in 19.1. We went from 16.5 to 19.1. So we are, three full iterations of the software ahead. And they do like big updates, like 19 to 19.1. They added a lot. So it's not like 19.1. It's not that 0.1 being a little update. No, it's sizable. So we've gone all through there, and I would say now it's probably closer to 70% of the software is what you would get with the free version. And not because they've reduced the quality, but just because they have added in so much, and there's still so much of that you get access to. Let's see. I'm currently using a Premiere Pro DaVinci Resolve workflow and using Resolve for color grading, and I don't know what it is, but DaVinci is just incredibly better at color grading than Premiere. It is funny it's funny you say that, Vaxen, because DaVinci Resolve started out as a color grading suite. DaVinci Resolve way back in the day, and let me take a look. DaVinci Resolve release date. Okay, here we go. DaVinci Resolve release date. DaVinci Resolve was released in 2009. So it used to, yeah, as DaVinci Resolve 2009. And back then, DaVinci Resolve was just a color grading software. So you did not have your media page, your cut page, your edit, your fusion, then your color, and then your Fairlight and delivery. It was just the color page. And you had all these, you didn't have all these, but you had some decent, some decent stuff you could play with. So they started off as the leader in the industry in Hollywood for color. And even now, people will still, in Hollywood, fully produce a movie in Premiere Pro. And then when it comes time to grade the footage, they'll strip all the effects off of it and send it to Resolve, because Resolve has maintained their lead position, their top dog position as the king of color. Now, if you go on to the Blackmagic design, here we go. If you go into the Blackmagic design page, I believe now it is the number one the #1 tool in Hollywood. I believe the software itself now might actually get used in Hollywood more than Premiere Pro. And if you're looking at different movies, let's see what other people. So Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, The Green Knight, Protege, Thor: Love and Thunder. You got like commercials. Oh, there's so much. Yeah, here we go. Hollywood's #1 post solution. So they officially overtook Premiere Pro. And I had a buddy who I was telling him for years, ever since like the first year that I got Resolve, and I was still using the free version. And I even got a like one of the speed editors. Now, I don't use it very much because the keyboard and all the keyboard shortcuts are incredible. But I told him, oh, you should switch over to DaVinci Resolve. It's so good. Yeah. It really was crazy because it was Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro, and that was like that was just what you used because there was no one big enough to compete with them. You have your Filmoras, you have your Sony Vegas, you have Movavi, you have Hit Film Express. You might have not heard of one or two of those, and that's because they're just smaller. I know guys who use those softwares, and the way that I will explain why you might want to use DaVinci Resolve instead of other softwares is that the potential that, for example, Filmora might have. Filmora will bring you up to like a level 5 power level, right? And if you're at level 1, then it's fine to use Filmora. But once you reach level 5, there's nowhere else to go because now you're being limited by the tools instead of by your own creativity. So then you have to pick another software that has a higher ceiling. So then maybe you move on to HitFilm, which has like level 12. I would say Premiere Pro has like level 15. So you can go up to a level 15 power level with Premiere Pro, but once you hit that 15, there's nowhere else to go. DaVinci Resolve, level 20. So you'll go straight up there. And here's the thing is more and more creators are switching over to DaVinci Resolve. There's a very large creator, Markiplier, who has done a lot, like a nice variety of projects where you can trust his word because he's done so many different things. He's done a couple big choose your own adventure movies. He's done a lot of YouTube videos. If we actually look right now, let's see how many videos has Markiplier done. Markiplier, he's done 5,600 videos. So he's done a fair amount of videos, and he's been using Premiere Pro since he started, which is like back in 2010, 2012. And earlier this year, he switched over to DaVinci Resolve because he said you can just do so much more of it. The purchase is a one-time fee, which is incredible. If you want the Adobe Creative Cloud, oh man, I have people asking me about this all the time whenever it comes to whenever they're debating what's worth, right? So I'm in Canada, so $80 a month. Right now it's 67% discount, but that doesn't last, right? So if you're gonna go, I've tried editing in Resolve, in the edit page, and the FPS drops really badly. Is that just because I'm in the free version, or do I need to change my settings? So in the free version, I believe the software will mostly use your GPU, or sorry, your CPU for processing. So if I go into settings, let me see here, general options, image scaling, master settings. I might have to go into preferences here. Memory and GPU. Yeah, here we go. So I just made it into here from the top. In your memory configuration, I think this is where you would set it up, is using GPU processing. And then it'll ask you, here we go, I'll zoom in. So it'll ask you what you want to use, like to process. So in the free version, I believe it uses CPU, and that's really the only bottleneck that I would say. Now, I'm going to give you some tricks right now to make your timeline run faster. So the first thing you can do is it playback? So in playback, if you go to render cache and you turn on smart, then what will happen is your footage will get cached. So you see this blue line here. This blue line allows me to run everything. So this blue line is what's been cached. So this will all run smoothly. Something else you can do is change your timeline resolution from full to either half or quarter. And I've used this so many times because sometimes I'm layering 3 or 4 layers of footage and it's color graded and there's visual effects on top of it. And even with my graphics card, sometimes I'll still lose frames, right? And that's just the way it is. Something else you can do, let's see, is use optimized media if available. And then I believe there's also, is this in workspace? Let's see. Playback, fusion, play reverse. So there should also be, oh wait, I can do this. I know what it is. So if I do this, I can go to, or I should be able to, yeah, generate optimized media. And so what this will do is it essentially creates a proxy that you can use that makes it so you're not going to be getting as much skipping or any, depending on what your settings are and if the footage itself is 4K or 8K. Talking about VFX, is there anything in Resolve that can replace After Effects roto brushing tool? Maybe. Now, for roto brushing, do you mean like masking things out? Like if I have a person and I want to mask them out? Is that what you mean by roto brushing? Because I know roto scoping. And I'll pull in, like if I pull in, let me find something that I can, like some basic footage here that I might be able to play with. Nah. I do not know, but yeah, so I don't use the optimized media much just because I don't need to, but it can be very, very good. Now it does take time to generate because you have to create the proxies. So usually what you'll do if you're generating optimized media is when you're setting up your project and you're organizing all your files and folders here with what you want to do, then after you have everything organized, you'll pull your media into your timeline. You'll click generate optimized media. If I do it with this video isn't super long. Yeah, so you can see it's gonna take 10 seconds. How long is the video itself? It's a 6-minute long video, and it would take half a minute to generate optimized media. So if you have like an hour-long video, it might take 20 minutes to generate that optimized media. But once you have it, then you're good to go. Now, if you're talking about like masking people out, right? And this is low quality footage too. So this isn't like some kind of super clean footage. You can use, I believe, is it Magic? Or would it be just straight up in effects? Magic Mask. Yeah, Magic Mask. You also have depth map. Oh, there's a lot of crazy stuff you can do in here. We are going to go with, I think it's called Magic. Oh no, you know what it is? This is only a color page for now. There is something else. You can do it in the edit page. I forget what it's called, but basically, I'm going to show you something really cool here. So this, I believe, is in the paid version. So I'm going to go better. You can use quality being faster or better. They don't particularly matter. You'll get a slight difference. I'm going to bring up my blur radius, my clean blacks, my clean whites, and my post filter just a bit. Bring my denoise up, and these will just clean the edges a little bit. Then let me set on a really quick in and out point for this, so it's one clip. I'll do this, boom, and we'll do that. Separate, boom. So now we're just going to be messing with this. So this is the clip that we're dealing with. And this is for a completely different project where I'm looking at the way people walk. Now, we want this guy masked out. We're literally just taking our eyedropper here. And we're going to draw a couple lines on him. We're going to go like that. We're going to go like this. And let's do one on his head and his arms. Now keep in mind this is not the cleanest footage. But I think we'll still get a decent result out of it. So I've drawn on him. I like to do I like to draw a couple more lines than needed. You usually won't need to be as particular about drawing your masks as I am. So you can see I have 5 different strokes overall. Then I hit this button, tracking. It's gonna track him, boom. And then I'm gonna add an alpha output and we'll see what we have here. Boom. And we've just masked him out. Like just like that. And that was with, we didn't even fine tune our settings or anything. We just adjusted them a tiny bit. I don't know if that's what you meant by roto brushing. Let me actually look up the definition of that so I can make sure it's roto brushing. Let's see, roto brush in After Effects. Easy and oh yeah, this might be. Oh yeah, so that is what you're talking about. Yeah, so this is DaVinci Resolve's version. Is you just draw a line or a couple lines and then you hit a button and it does it for you. There's a lot of cool stuff. You can even do things with something called a depth map, which uses AI to figure out how close and far something is. I actually did a video on the depth map and the magic mask a while ago, and I will put the video in the chat. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. So I did a much more in-depth version of it in here. Here's the link to the video. And I dive into how the depth map works versus how the magic mask works, and then I compare them a little bit, and it turns out that they're both very good in their own respects, and they can both take a lot of weight off your shoulders when it comes to heavy lifting. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. In terms of where was it before? VFX. Talking about VFX. Okay, yeah, so the only problem with transitioning over to Resolve is my dozens of custom presets and layouts. Is it wise to remake or transition all of my things over to Resolve? If you can, I would transition them over. If you can't, then they're very easy to remake. And let me add this in the chat as well, because hidden use copy button. Let's do that. Here's the DaVinci Resolve Discord is incredible. Yeah, and that's if you're only using Premiere Pro. If you're using the Creative Suite, where it's After Effects, Audition, Encoder, all of them, then that's 80 Canadian a month, which if you're going to go for, I think Canadians, it's like, what, $450. So for me, I'll go like, what is that? I do 450 divided by 80. So after 6 months, I've basically... 6 months of a Creative Cloud subscription buys me a lifetime of DaVinci Resolve. And in the past 4 years, they've overtaken Premiere Pro, or the Adobe Creative Suite, as the best or the most preferred, the fan favorite in the creative area and the content creation space. So I'm definitely biased, but I also have a lot of experience with this. So I would recommend buying the studio version once you test out the free version for a little bit. Because there's every reason to make the switch, because eventually that's what people will be looking for. So you're saving yourself some time. And the Discord as well, like there have been times where I've put out a question in the Discord. I've been like, hey, does anyone know how to do this? And someone will respond, and they'll ask another couple questions to figure out what exactly it is I'm looking for. So we're on the same page. And they'll go, oh yeah, just do this. And I'm like, what? And for example, oh, I'm going to show you something crazy. I'm about to blow your mind in terms of sending effects to each other. Oh, here we go. Where are my, oh, let's do, is this one mine? Oh, come on. I'm trying to find the main one that I created with someone. But basically, actually, you know what? Here's what I can do. Here's what I'll do. So I was working with a buddy the other day in Resolve, and he was going, oh, I really want to do this wavy effect for my text. I want my text to look wavy. And I went, okay, well, you mean like rippling kind of? Last question from where you've seen Adobe, what does Premiere After Effects have that Resolve doesn't, that you wish you could use? It's actually interesting that you asked that. There has been, or there's been one or two. The only one that comes to mind right now would be, there was a effect that would, it was almost like a shatter effect. And I'll show, I actually have a copy of it because I tried out After Effects and I made a copy of the asset. Oh, I know I have it here somewhere. I know I have it here. Rotating. I have sub button, RGB 16-bit. And I bring, okay. But basically, I made a copy essentially. Okay, this is just gameplay. I made a copy of Tim the Tatman's subscribe button, where or not his subscribe button, his like one of his Twitch overlays where everything shatters, and so the entire screen shatters and then it comes back. And it was interesting to see the way that everything broke and then came back in, because Fusion, that's, I'd say like maybe one or two of the Fusion things don't have. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that arrived in the future, or there isn't a plugin already for it. And you have me kind of itching to ask someone in the Discord, like, hey, does anyone know how to make this? And there's an entire forum in the Discord of making this thing that only Premiere Pro is supposed to be able to do. And so people will remake After Effects effects in Premiere Pro. Here's an example of what I was doing. Let me do this. Here we go. Of what I was talking about. So my buddy, he's like, hey, I want my text to look wavy. How do I do that? And I was like, oh, you're going to want like a fast noise, and you're going to want to do this and do this and do this. And so he streams his screen, and I start talking to him, and I'm like, no, like not quite. And he's putting the inputs in the wrong places because he's still learning Fusion. He's good in the edit page, but he's still learning Fusion. So I make it in here. I add in the nodes, the necessary nodes. And then he's kind of getting it. And I go, no, just do this. And what I do is I click and I drag a window over. I hit copy. And then I send him this. So if I do this, and I hit copy, and if I do, here's what I'm going to do. If I type this in, for example, Vaccine Access, here we go. So if this is you, and I went, oh yeah, just do that, and I copy that, and I just paste. So literally this text, which when it pastes comes out as code, right? When you actually copy and paste it, and you can paste it just on the graph, boom, you have the effect now. So you can straight up, you don't need to worry about exporting things as a plugin. You don't need to worry about, oh, is it going to be compatible with this and that? If you're making something in Resolve and you want to send it to someone, you can literally just copy and paste it, and it comes out as a text file. And then once you paste it in Fusion, it gets turned back into nodes, and it comes out as that. So I literally just copy pasted, and he had the effect right there, which is something absolutely incredible about the Resolve community and about being able to share things. So from what I can tell, a Resolve Adobe workflow is the best combo. If only Adobe could make the price worth it. If there's something specific, here's what I'll say. Yeah, it's cool though. You can really like, oh, it was literally just copy paste. And what if I do this? So let me bring up a notepad. So if I do copy, and then I bring this on, I hit paste, this is what it comes up as. So tools ordered fast noise 1, control zoom false, and then it has all the inputs here, everything that's necessary, then adds displace, which these are the 2 nodes that are being used, puts them in, boom. And then when you paste it, you get the nodes. It's so cool because it removes, or it speeds up the process. What I'll say about using Premiere Pro, if you want to use Resolve, but there is something in Premiere Pro that you absolutely need, or something in After Effects that you absolutely need, like it's something you can't live without, and you know that Resolve will not be able to do this, then that is the only reason I would see to stick with Premiere Pro, right? I just can't move from Premiere Pro so suddenly, but definitely convinced me. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, my pleasure. So my buddy who I was talking about, who also I got him to switch over, I told him since a year after, so since 2021, you should switch over to Resolve. And he used Premiere Pro. He'd been editing for a couple months. He started before I did on YouTube and creating things. And he went, I'm never going to switch over to Resolve. Premiere Pro is better. The Adobe suite is better. They have all these different things. They can do all these things. And I said, yeah, but look, you can do this and this and this in Resolve. You can do a lot of the things that you can do in Resolve, or that you can do in Adobe and Resolve. And he went, nope, it's just better. I'm gonna die. I'm not switching. I'm never gonna switch. And I went, I'll get you sooner or later. And Resolve kept improving, and Adobe kept crashing, literally. And every couple of months, I'd be like, look at this really cool thing you can do in Resolve. Look at this new big creator that switched over. And then finally, when Markiplier switched, and Markiplier, now that he's created a movie, and he's created his other projects that got recommended for an Emmy, and he does all these incredible things, and he has a team of like 4 editors as well. He migrated his entire system over to Resolve, and he went, it is so much easier and so much nicer. And when I showed him that, he was like, because he's a big fan of Markiplier, he went, all right, I'll give it a try. And he never looked back. And now he does the same thing. Now, to give you someone who's actually the opinion of someone who has used Premiere, he's told me that everything that Resolve does, that Adobe can do, Resolve does it better. And the only times that Resolve ever, or that he's ever, what's the word I'm looking for here? The only issue he ever has with Resolve will be with something little. So in Adobe, for example, if you want to edit a text, here, right? He says in Adobe, and I've seen him, right, you can double click on your text, or you can click on your text, and that's how you'll edit your text. In Resolve, typically you come over to your inspector, right? And you edit your text here, right? And that's how you would edit your text. Now you can actually edit your text by clicking on it. But what you do is you would go to your Fusion overlay, and now you can edit your text just like that. Now, this little window right here gives you a whole bunch of stuff. So you can transform, you can crop, right? Now you use this normally for footage, but you can do it with a whole bunch of other stuff. You can do, so Fusion overlays would show, you know, any Fusion effects. You can have open effects overlay, which is slightly different. It's like Fusion effects, but in the edit page. Annotations. So you can actually, like when you're drawing, it'll put a marker. And if you want to draw, for example, like go this way, or you want to show some lines so that you're drawing on your footage, and you're experimenting with some concepts without actually making edits, just very quick things, you can do that. Then you have Smart Reframe, which is a completely different thing. I won't get into that today. But it's just like, oh, the little thing. I want to be able to double click on my text. But he says it does 90% of what Adobe can do better than Adobe. And it's just like little things. And then the other day, he had like a brain aneurysm. Because that's when 19.1 released. And here we go, dual screen. And you can see that my media, everything all over here has moved. And that's because it's on this window now. This window used to get, this window used to get stuck on, or was it this one? This one used to get, I don't know. Oh, I accidentally switched it over. There we go. So this one used to get stuck. Why am I doing that now? This is me. This isn't Resolve doing this. But this window used to be stuck on one or the other monitor, and you couldn't move it. And he loves having a dual screen display. But he was like, oh, I can't move it. And now with 19.1, quality of life update and a lot of other cool stuff, now you can move this around. It's all the little things. And where's my live stream? Here we go. So it's so many little things that he just loves about the, here we go. So many things that he loves about it. All the big things, and then all of the little things that bother him, he'll go, oh, they fixed this. They fixed this. And so they're just doing quality of life changes because they've already done so much of like the big heavy lifting. I will show you. Yeah, since Resolve is pretty different from Premiere, it might take me a while to move, and my school offers a Premiere editing class, so I can't move over yet, but I'll definitely save up money for Studio. It's a good idea. Yeah, I recommend investing in your education and planning for the future. I'll show you really quick this that I made, right? So this is the Disney original. So you know what Disney Plus is, of course. This, though, this was not made by Disney. This was made by me. So this, when you really get into Fusion, this is what Fusion starts to look like. It starts to look like a whole mess of nodes, and it seems really overwhelming, but a node workflow is absolutely incredible. Like, believe me. So, let's see. Is this my... Yeah, so we'll do this. So this is the original Disney Plus logo, the original Disney Plus graphic. So I looked at this and I went, I want to make that. I want to make the assets of a company that's worth billions of dollars. So I looked at it. So any help, like the efficiency of Resolve, yeah. Speed is the name of the game in post-production. 100%. And with Resolve, oh, you're going to get ready to go light speed. With this, like, for example, this, and anything I got, my special talent, anything I can see, I can create. So this, took the background, added in the other background, added in the text. I created this little spline right here, this little thing. Boom, you add in that first glow right there. Add in the second glow. Add in the text, add in like the little X. I have not used Nuke. Nuke and Houdini are on my list. Right now, what's on right now after Resolve, it is Blender that's on my list. 3D animation and compositing. that's my next stop. I also want to learn how to score my own music, so composition, and then more special effects are on the way. Because I know Nuke, Houdini, and Unreal Engine 5 for special effects, they have some pretty insane stuff. So we not only made the Disney Plus thing, the Disney Plus asset, we also made, where is it? Here we go. We also made the Lethal Company one. If you like Node, you will love Nuke. I do. The Node systems are incredible. And with the Node systems, we made the Disney Plus, and we also made the Lethal Company, but made it Disney original, because I thought it would be really funny. We did this. And boom. And then we jump right into the action right away. That's just some little things you can make. Oh, I love making things so much. Anything I can see, I can make, and when I get that creative bug in there, I'm obsessed. But yeah, I think that is just about it for I think that's just about it for tonight. But yeah, I hoped all that helped, Vaxen. I'm glad that I was able to help give you some kind of closure on the decision and help offer you a clearer path towards making some really cool stuff. Thank you. Thank you, T.O. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it only gets better as you go, right? Like there's no version of life where I don't see myself making things. And so something else is, when you're making anything, use references. Because people have, like, usually something that you want to make, someone will have made something similar. So the same way they say success leaves clues, so does good content. Good content leaves clues. So always, whenever you want to make something, use references. Because they will help bring you so much closer than your vision than if you're walking around in the dark. Yeah. On that note, I think it is just about time that we end the stream. So I'm gonna put on some lo-fi to confuse that one person who's gonna jump to the very end of the stream and be like, "Oh, wait, how did I get to from EDM to lo-fi music?" And with that, we end the stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm glad I was able to help. And yeah, we're gonna make some more stuff over the next couple days. So I'll be streaming periodically. So if you want to see more of this and more of some other stuff, we're working on the Squid Game. I'll pull that up really quick before I sign off here. We're working on making the Squid Game opening graphic, and Resolve is gonna do a little thing here because it doesn't like me pulling over from one database to another with so much footage in the chamber. Here we go. So, Squid Game graphic. Hey, awesome. So, I'll pin this then. I decided to. There we go. So the video, or the message I just pinned, that's a video on the channel that I'm usually creating on, and I've done a little bit over there. This channel I use mainly for gaming, but I'm thinking of migrating everything over to this channel. We're gonna remake the Squid Game graphic, because I mean, come on, like, how cool would it be to have your own custom version of that? Yeah, that's what's on the to create list over the next couple days. And with that, we close out for the evening. So thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe if you want to see, if you want to be notified and you want to see how we end up making this and look at all the little details, because there are definitely some things I've noticed, like the drop shadows that we have here and some of the extra little bits. Like, you can see this is actually two things. You can tell just from the way the pixels pop up. Yeah, little things. that's everything. So, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you when you click on the stream again and again and again.